Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with My Hero Academia. Last time on My Hero Academia, we had Boy Meets... What was that? So, we continued on with Midoriya trying to be acknowledged by Sir Night-Eye, which didn't go over... Okay, so Sir Night-Eye drew up a contract and got the stamp and then was like, yo, you take the stamp from my hand and stamp the contract. And he used his quirk, which was foresight, in order to basically see everything that Midoriya was going to do. So Midoriya could never do it. And he basically says, like, you are not worthy of One for All. Mirio is. And he did say that he would take on Midoriya, but mainly, Midoriya figured out that he is going to... Sir Night-Eye took on Midoriya so that Midoriya would give up on his hopes and dreams and pass One for All onto Mirio instead. And then at the end, after the credits, they were out on patrol, and the little girl from the opening and the outro, we find out her name is Eri as she bumps into Deku. And then Overhaul shows up and is like, hey, let's go home now. So, yeah, that was pretty much that. I think it's about to go down? I don't know. I want to know about this girl, man. I want to know who is this girl? But yeah, that is pretty much that. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. This is also where I say my table is shaking for some weird reason, and I don't know why. Every time I sit down, anyway... And now I've bumped my desk and everything, and this is just perfect. This is also where I say that if you want to watch my reaction to this episode of My Hero Academia, what you gotta do is head down in the description or to the pinned comment. Click on the link there. That will take you over to the reaction. You can watch it. Hopefully you have a good time. When you're done with that, you can pop right back over here to this YouTube video for the discussion. So with that being said, let's get right into this episode of My Hero Academia. Here we go. Alright, so that's why Night-Eye is so insistent on the power being passed to Mirio instead of Deku, because it's honestly, it's probably not even that it's like, oh, he has zero potential. I think he does see potential in Midoriya. I think it's that he doesn't see enough, where he already sees limitless potential with Mirio. He already sees the symbol of peace, you know? And I guess that's part of it, is that it's not even that, you know, he's thinking, you know, he sees, like, okay, the next user of One for All, a hero with One for All. What he is looking for, what he sees in Mirio is the next symbol of peace. What he sees in Deku is just another hero. And he doesn't see the next symbol of peace in there. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting this to get, like, deep and crazy. All Might will die in battle. What the hell is he doing in battle? Boy barely has a quirk left. The man barely has any use of his own quirk anymore. So, now them saying, well, it could be this year or it could be next year. Now that does sort of mean, well, it could be this season or 10 seasons from now. Well, thanks for the fucking heads up. Now that's an old... well, old, but that's a Robin Williams joke, where I remember that one. He was talking about, like, the San Andreas fault line, and it's like, oh, the big one is coming. It's like, oh, when's the big earthquake coming? It's like, well, it's either going to be tomorrow or 10,000 years from now. And he says, well, thanks for the fucking heads up. You know, it's exactly that. On this show, it's like, in 3 seasons, you know, at the start of season 4, basically, we start the second semester. So, All Might's death could either be this season or 10 seasons from now. Well, thanks for the fucking heads up. Just know that if he ever gets into a fight, panic. But that's also why he's working out. And Midnight said he's been working out ever since the home visits. So ever since, basically ever since he recovered from his fight with All For One, he's been retraining himself, basically. Preparing for one last fight. Where he will die in battle, which... That's the thing, man. That's the thing, is that All Might, I thought, at least, and probably he thought too, he probably thought that he broke the cycle. He probably thought that he broke the cycle of the curse of One For All. Because that is sort of a curse. At least, kind of. But this is also, goodness, this goes back to season 2. Yeah, shit, this goes back to season 2. When he's talking about One For All and All For One, and he says, or he thinks to himself to tell him. It's like, I'm sorry, but I won't be there. This is that. At first, you can just think like, oh, he's afraid that he will, even if he faces All For One again, he will die in battle, basically, the same way that his master did. But you'd be forgiven for thinking, oh, he broke that. He broke the cycle when he defeated All For One and lived, But the thing is, he probably thought he broke the cycle the first time he beat All For One. The first time he beat All For One, and then, he lived. Yeah, he was injured, but he lived. So he thought he broke the cycle until Night Eye said, no, you will die in battle. Then he gets to his rematch with All For One, and he thinks, no, I'm going to die here. But then he holds on. So he's thinking, okay, I thought this before, but maybe I broke the cycle. I changed the future. Maybe I broke the cycle. Maybe I changed the future. And if I did, then I won't die in battle, like my master before me. Maybe I won't die like Shimura did. Like, most likely, her master did. And their master before them. And their master before them. He most likely thought that he broke the cycle the first time. Then he probably thought it the second time, too. But now he's worried. And that is a good point by Midoriya. It's like, hey, have Night Eye check your future again. Have Night Eye check your future again. And I like that they say there's no precedent for changing the future, basically. There's no foresight for changing the future. Every single one of his visions has come to pass. But it is possible to change destiny, basically. They brought destiny onto this show. They brought destiny, but through one guy's quirk, and they have brought destiny onto this show. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. But see, now that they've done it, now that they've said it, I almost feel like it has to happen almost. Now, although, then again, you watch other shows where they talk about you can't change, the timeline or anything. If this stuff happened, then it happened. Or if this stuff is going to happen, then it's going to happen. You know what? Today is December the 1st when I am recording this. And this is going to go out next Thursday on Patreon, the next Thursday on YouTube. But I'm recording this on December the 1st. This is All Might's Christmas Carol. This is All Might's Christmas Carol. Because this is now the question we have about Night Eye's vision of the future. Are these the visions of things that will be, or things that may be only? That is what Scrooge changed his future. Can All Might? Wow, the timing on that is hilarious. That is hilarious. It totally is. Are these the shadows of things that will be, or things that may be only? Can they do it? Now here's something interesting. Night Eye has seen All Might's future. But if he is that paranoid about it, how has he not checked Lemillion's future? Which, that's his name. Lemillion? They said it so fast. I think it was that. I should go back and check. Subtitles. Give me something.
Hey, we forgot something. Our hero names. We should know each other's, right? Oh, yeah, totally. I'm Deku. Deku? Like Deck? That's weird. I like it. Okay, well, I'm Lemillion. For the number of people I'll save.
Okay, yeah. Lemillion. L-E million. What an odd name, I have to say, his name, it kind of falls in line with All Might's, because it's like, it's like, oh, that's the amount of people I'm gonna save. It's like, well, damn, that's pretty friggin', that's ambitious, man. That's pretty ambitious, but that's good. It's like, can you imagine, like, when they did the whole stuff with the names and stuff? Imagine All Might doing that. He goes up, is like, all right, Toshinori, what's your name? He just goes up, All Might, and they're like, damn, man, that's a bit presumptuous. You are all of the might. Like, damn, man. Like, you're just some 15-year-old kid with some weird-ass power, and you're All Might? Wonder what Shimura's hero name was. We've never heard that. We've just heard Shimura. So, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I'd be curious about that. Because, yeah, it's like, All Might and Deku. Like, okay. Anyway, but yeah. How has Night Eye not checked Mirio's future and seeing, like, is he the symbol of peace? I don't know. And then, hell, why doesn't he check Deku's future? If he did, he probably would see that. He probably would see that Deku is the symbol of peace. Because, well, I mean, that's what Deku has told us in the narration, so I'm inclined to believe. I don't think they're going to change it out of the blue here. It's like, oh, actually, I was wrong. Like, what? But you said, like, oh, no. So, but yeah, so, geez, All Might's going to die in battle. What is he doing in a battle? He is retired and he barely has a quirk to begin with. But I do like, when they show, when All Might called Night Eye and told him about Deku, and it's like, what, some quirkless middle schooler? And All Might's thinking, that's exactly who I was. I was quirkless when Shimura passed the power to me. Again, I do think it's part of, Night Eye saying, Night Eye basically being like, look, One for All is more special. It is super special. Even though Gran Torino is like, no, you think One for All is more special than it really is. You know, I think Night Eye is saying, no, it is that special. But he's also saying it's not just One for All now. It is the symbol of peace. You know, look, you're not just training the successor of One for All. You're training the successor of the symbol of peace. That's the difference here. That's the difference now. Because that's the thing. Shimura passed it on to someone who, you know, she thought, you know, like, okay, this kid's got potential. He can be a hero. Here's a bit of my, you know, black hair. Eat it. I'll train you. You'll be a hero. It was All Might who was like, all right, sweet. I got this power. I'm going to be the symbol of peace. And Shimura was like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but okay, go for it, man. You know, that was basically the interaction between the two of them. And then the difference now is that it's like, oh, well, Deku did want to be a hero. Midoriya wanted to be a hero, and he wanted to be like All Might. And now it's like, look, here you go. Not only are you going to be a hero and the next holder of One for All, I want you to be the next symbol of peace. It's like, oh, okay, that's a lot of responsibility, man. And it is. It is. And Night Eye is trying. Basically, Night Eye went with a safe bet. He was like, Mirio, that guy, he's symbol material. You pick some fucking middle schooler. What the hell are you doing, man? So, and you understand, it's basically, it's the combination of thinking One for All is more special than it is, the added weight of training the successor as the symbol of peace, not just One for All, and also the fact that I'm pretty sure he's paranoid about this. He is paranoid about what will happen. He's paranoid about what will happen, so he tried to go with a safer bet. He tried to go with Togeda. Oh my gosh. And that was interesting seeing All Might, you know, after his first battle with All for One. You know? No, you know what was interesting too? Because Nezu was there, Recovery Girl was there too, and obviously Night Eye. Gran Torino was there. He was in a hospital robe too. So, was Gran Torino also in that fight? Like, you know, the rematch that they had where, yeah, you know, it was Gran Torino came in, started kicking the shit out of people. Then, you know, that's when All for One got the rest of the villains out of there, and it was pretty much Gran Torino and All Might versus All for One, although Gran Torino didn't do too much except get punched. But, you know, so it's like, so by that assumption, Gran Torino was in that fight too, in the original fight with All for One. Night Eye, at least if he wasn't injured at all. I would assume he was, though, because he was his sidekick, you know? And it was interesting, he says, I had a policy never to take a sidekick. Why? Why would you not want to take a sidekick? That's very interesting. Like, I don't know. That seems so strange. Plus, you guys have told me that technically David Shield was not a sidekick. He was more of a... David Shield was more of a support, basically. But they pretty much called him his sidekick. Even if he wasn't necessarily a hero, he was a sidekick. Maybe more of a sky-high sidekick of like, oh, well, he's there, he's the support, he's there to drive the Batmobile and stuff, but it's like, no, whereas Night Eye was more of a hero sidekick, I guess. But yeah, All Might had a policy never to take a sidekick, which is interesting. God, a lot happened in this episode, I have to say. Okay. Going through some of the other notes, we've pretty much talked about All Might and stuff. So, Lemillion. Just an interesting name, you know? But I like that. I like his suit. The question is, does that suit phase with him? We don't know. He hasn't used his power yet, but we'll have to see. We did get our bump in with Eri. God, that's crazy. We finally, get information about this girl, and then they're like, hey, here's a lot of All Might stuff that we need to talk about. I was like, we were going to talk about Eri. But yes. So Eri is Overhaul's daughter. Okay. And she basically is sort of rebelling, and she, just that entire scene was crazy. And I love Mirio just so quickly getting Midoriya's hood on him, which we haven't seen that hood in quite a while. He barely wears that hood at all. But I like that. It's like, he puts the hood on because he doesn't want Overhaul to know, to get any suspicions, So that was just a tense scene. But the thing is, Midoriya kept pressing, and that's the problem, is that Togata's like, oh no, we can't do anything. This could compromise the whole case. And it's like, yes, but a little girl is clinging to Deku, terrified. Like, how could a hero just pass that by? And Togata knows that. He's like, shit, what do we do? Because Deku's right. He's like, shit, we can't just leave this child. Like, what do we do? So that was just a tense scene. And then, we see Overhaul going for his glove. It's like, he was about to get fucking violent. He's about to blow fuckers up, basically, if he could. I'd love to see how the two of them would fight him. That'd be just weird. Fucking Deku just loses an arm. He has to get, like, a robotic arm. It's like fucking... Oh, it's like JoJo. He has to get a robotic arm, but it still can use one for all somehow. Anyway. But yeah. So... But that's when Eri went back. Like, you almost wonder, it's like... You almost would think, like, maybe she's almost, like, protecting them. Like, she doesn't want them to get hurt or something. Or she just, at the very least, she realized, like, okay, the best thing for me to do is to go back to him before things get, too rough. So, yeah. And now, they also mentioned that there was an incident with Overhaul, but it didn't end with, bodies, basically. Bodies exploding. It was something different. So I'm very curious as to what the hell that was. Like, oh, all pre-existing conditions they had were gone. Like, what? What happened? We're not sure. So we'll have to get more on that, definitely. And I do like, Night Eye saying, it's like, no, don't, your haste could ruin all this. Don't rush into it, But that's the thing is, you understand, Deku, it's like, a little girl is in trouble. We need to do something, like, right? But it's like, look, we need to bide our time. We need to play this carefully, or this will all fail, And he's honestly right. And it's interesting when he says pretty much like, you can't save everyone, basically.
Dad, but we know he has a daughter. Take your time pursuing a target.
Yeah.
If you rush, they are that much more likely to escape. You're not so special that you can save whoever you want, whenever you want. We've asked other agencies to team up with us. We must first predict our...
Oh, I missed that line. We've asked other agencies to team up with us. I'm wondering if we'll get some of the other Class 1A students in this now. I don't know. But yeah, so it makes sense. Like, look, we can't rush into this. We have to hope that Eri can, hold out, basically. I mean, yeah, she does have, bandages and stuff, but she is still alive. So, it's basically, it's like, look, we have to hope that what we're doing is good and we can save her, but we need to be patient, So I do like that. And when he says, like, you're not so special that you can save whoever, whenever. And that is something that Midoriya kind of needs to learn. And the thing is, every hero kind of needs to know that. Even All Might can't save everyone all the time. And he said as much. Like, yeah, there could be someone crying out for me right now and I would never know. It's like, you gotta you gotta be patient. So I think Deku is definitely going to do that. So yeah. So that was pretty crazy. And then, yeah, the whole division between Night Eye and All Might, dying in battle, which is crazy. And we're going to try to fight Fate. And we're gonna hope. We're gonna hope that... I hope that they can break the curse of One for All. That All Might will not die like his master, and most likely her master before her. You know? So, we're hopeful. And at the end, Shigaraki is going to join with the Shie Hisaikai. Yeah, I figured out how to say that. Now, is that, by the way, is that the name of the Yakuza, like their group, or is that his name? I actually haven't figured that out now. Because I think, you know, Mirio said, like, oh, Hisaikai has a daughter. And it's like, wait, so is that his name? I don't know. So, whatever. Overhaul. Shigaraki is going to join Overhaul on some conditions. I'll be curious to see what that'll be. Maybe it'll be sort of like a co-leadership thing, you know. But I'll definitely be curious about that. And honestly, you know, because we had that, you know, line of, you know, I will make you pay for this. You know, it's like, I almost wonder if Shigaraki is going to get in so that he can destroy them. You know, maybe Shigaraki is ready to play chess, you know? You know, he's always had, like, a video game analogy. It's like, oh, we went against the final boss with a bunch of level 1 players. Like, that wasn't right, so now we're doing better and stuff. It's like, I wonder if Shigaraki is ready to play chess. You know, that would be very interesting. So, yeah, I guess that's basically that. Crazy episode that I was not prepared for at all. Like, I thought we were just going to get stuff with Eri and Overhaul, but no, this turned into All Might stuff. Like, oh my word. So yeah, that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of My Hero Academia reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.